alongside elected dictatorship. Abby Taylor appointed the Director of Antiquities, and the IDA questions a need for more THA secretaries. Good evening, I am Lavion Cupid, and you're locked into the Tobago Updates television news for Thursday, 15th of January 2026. Now to our top story this evening. A sea of supporters filled James Park today as the Tobago House of Assembly's 2026 administration was officially sworn in, following the historic 15-0 sweep on a Monday. Chief Secretary Fali Augustine returned to the helm with a message of accountability and reform. The ceremony saw a rare gathering of national leadership, signaling a new chapter in the island's governance. Our senior respondent, Joel Green George, has the details on the story.
At James Park, steeped in the legacy of APT James, the 15 newly elected TPP administration stood before a hopeful crowd. In a rare display of national unity, both the Prime Minister and opposition leader attended the historic proceedings. Eschewing a triumphant tone, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine, retained by over 16,000 votes, emphasized that his absolute mandate will be defined by accountability and transparency, not political dominance.
Let me say this plainly. I do not return triumphant. I return accountable.
Yes, amen.
And because accountability must never be a slogan but a system, let me announce today that tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. we will hold a live press conference.
The new executive lineup was confirmed, with Niall George as presiding officer, Nikita Percy as deputy, and Dr. Faith Brebner returning as deputy chief secretary. To fill the 3 allotted councillor spots, Augustine tapped Akhil Franklin, Petal Ann Roberts, and UA law lecturer Adana Joseph Wallace. The new administration moves to amend the THA Act and expand the number of secretaries to manage Tobago's 33 administrative areas more efficiently.
One of the areas that we will be introducing is a new division for legal affairs and intergovernmental affairs, which will be equivalent to that of Attorney General for the Tobago House of Assembly and the Tobago Island government. And because of that, I needed to have on this team a lawyer of excellence. And that's why allow me to introduce to you Ms. Adana Aisha Joseph Wallace. She's a respected attorney at law.
Despite the total control of the Assembly, Augustine addressed fears of a one-party state head-on, promising a shift toward direct democracy where citizens participate in decision-making.
I want you to know that giving us all 15 seats will not result in us abusing you, will not result in us becoming elected dictators, but will allow for us to introduce measures without being stymied by the...
As the festivities end, the work begins. A detailed roadmap for this accountability system is expected at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Reporting for Tobago Updates Television News, I'm Joel Green George.
Former Presiding Officer Abby Taylor will officially assume duties as Director of Antiquities from Monday, according to an announcement by Chief Secretary Fali Augustine. The disclosure was made while he addressed members of the public at James Park following the inauguration of the Tobago House of Assembly.
Effective Monday morning, Ms. Abby Taylor will be asked to take up critical responsibilities as Director for Antiquities. And this is a role that is central in preserving Tobago's history, our heritage, and our identity. Further details will be forthcoming at the press.
Augustine described the appointment as a deliberate step towards strengthening the management and preservation of Tobago's cultural and historical assets. He noted that Taylor brings a wealth of experience in governance, administration, and leadership, having most recently served as presiding officer of the Assembly. In her new role, Taylor will be responsible for overseeing the protection of heritage sites, artifacts, and historical records while helping to advance a public education and heritage-based tourism initiative. The Chief Secretary expressed the confidence that her institutional knowledge and disciplined approach would enhance the work of the Division of Antiquities. Amid growing debate over proposed changes to the Tobago House of Assembly, questions are being raised about governance, priorities, and public spending. IDA political leader Dr. Denise Sawyer-Fat Angus argued that structural weaknesses, not a shortage of political offices, are at the heart of administrative challenges, especially at a time of economic strain and heightened public concern. Here are the details on the story.
IDA political leader Dr. Denise Sawyer-Fat Angus expressed serious concern that the decision was announced without public consultation, a transparent cost breakdown, or a clear evidence that Tobago's existing structure is unmanageable. The party noted that this comes at a time of economic hardship and uncertainty, adding that Tobago is not divided.
And so IDA is deeply concerned that this move was announced without public consultation, without a clear cost breakdown, and without any demonstrated evidence that Tobago's divisions are unmanageable under the current structure, especially during a period of economic struggle and uncertainty. There's no division in Tobago so large or so complex that it cannot be effectively managed by a properly trained secretary, supported by competent administrators, and I'm speaking from experience.
Angus noted when secretaries become overwhelmed, it is often due to unclear and overlapping responsibilities, rather than an insufficient number of political offices. Instead of expanding positions, priority should be given to improving training, enhancing policy-making skills, and strengthening administrative systems to ensure more effective execution.
So when secretaries are overwhelmed, it is usually because these roles are blurred, not because there are too few political offices. So instead of increasing numbers, the focus should be on training secretaries to be better policymakers, strengthening administrative execution, and enforcing accountability mechanisms. Expanding political offices without addressing competence risks worsening governance.
Ultimately, she is calling for meaningful reform rather than expansion, stressing that clearer roles, stronger institutions, and better trained officials would deliver more effective governance for Tobago without adding unnecessary costs during an already challenging economic period. This is Aliyah Balgobin reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
In a media release, the United States has reportedly frozen immigrant visa processing for nationals of 75 countries, a development that is raising concern across the Caribbean and could have wider implications for Trinidad and Tobago. The State Department memo has instructed U.S. consular officers to refuse immigrant visa applications under existing immigration law while authorities conduct a review of screening and vetting procedures. The pause reportedly took effect on January 21st and will take effect on January 21st and is expected to remain in place indefinitely. Although Trinidad and Tobago is not named in the memo, more than 10 Caribbean countries are listed, including Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Belize, Cuba, Dominica, Grenada, Haiti, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Regional analysts say the move could impact a family reunification, labor mobility, and migration trends that traditionally involve Trinidad and Tobago as both a sending and transit country. The broader list reportedly includes dozens of nations across Africa, Asia, Europe, and Latin America, such as Afghanistan, Brazil, Ghana, Nigeria, Pakistan, Russia, and Syria, according to Fox News. The reported actions follows previous statements by former U.S. President Donald Trump, who had pledged stricter controls on migration from developing countries. We'll take a quick break and be right back. More news ahead. Stay with us.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At DIGICEL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships. It's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. In 2024, Trinidad and Tobago saw a record 626 murders. However, 6 months into the state of emergency declared in July of 2025, the government says the tide is turning. Minister Saddam Hussein points to a 42% drop in killings and hundreds of firearms seized, crediting decisive policies for reshaping the fight against crime. More in this report from Martina Renales-Salazar.
Minister of Land and Legal Affairs Saddam Hussein says the state of emergency declared in July 2025 has delivered measurable results in the fight against crime. Speaking at a United National Congress press briefing on Wednesday, Hussein reported significant reductions in murders, gang-related killings, and an increase in firearm recoveries. He noted that Trinidad and Tobago recorded 669 murders in 2025, a sharp decline from the record 626 killings in 2024. Hussein described the 42% reduction as evidence that government policies are taking effect.
I'm happy to report that when we closed the year 2025, we were able to announce to the public that there was a 42% reduction in the murder rate in Trinidad and Tobago. And that didn't happen by chance. It happened because we now had a prime minister as the head of the National Security Council taking very important, decisive, and proportional decisions in order to stifle criminal activities in Trinidad and Tobago.
He also noted that the state of emergency has led to the seizure of 292 firearms since July 2025.
When you look at the number of firearms and ammunition, which is the weapon of choice of criminals in the SOE that was discovered so far, from July to present, July 2025 to present, we have discovered 292 firearms of various assortment, 71 revolvers, 144 pistols, 45 shotguns, 29 rifles, and 3 air rifles.
While the state of emergency has drawn debate, the government insists its policies are delivering results. For now, officials are pointing to the statistics as proof that decisive action is reshaping the fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Martina Renales-Salazar reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
Political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, Watson Duke, says leadership is all about knowing when to lean on others. His partnership with Falia Augustine proved that point, delivering Tobago's historic 15-0 victory. For Duke, the lesson is clear. Governance thrives on collaboration, not isolation. More in this report from Martina Renales-Salazar.
Political leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, Watson Duke, has underscored the importance of teamwork in leadership. Reflecting on the collaboration with Chief Secretary Falia Augustine, Duke said their partnership was instrumental in securing the historic 15-0 victory in the Tobago House of Assembly elections. He stressed that governance cannot be done alone, urging leaders to surround themselves with people who can complement their weaknesses and strengthen decision-making. Duke credited their success to working together and emphasized that collaboration remains the key strategy for effective leadership.
In 2021, when we worked together, we were able to achieve great stuff. And if it's one thing I want my good friend Mr. Augustine to inculcate into his head, is that you cannot go governance alone. You need people around you who know what you're doing, who can complement your weaknesses. And because he did reach out to me and I did respond positively, we worked together and we were able to achieve the 15-0 that he desired and Tobago desired. But working together is all the strategy. Always select people around you who can complement your weaknesses.
Duke said rallying support for the Tobago People's Party was straightforward, noting that Tobago's interests outweighed past disagreements. He explained that by shifting focus from individual criticism to the island's development, it was easy to unite supporters behind the cause.
Don't study that. Don't study that. I say, look, people make mistakes, things happen, forget that. We have to work together because Tobago's interest is at hand. And whether he was right or was wrong, we must support him because he is who we have at the helm. As it was easy selling that, taking the spotlight off of him and putting the spotlight on Tobago and letting them know we are good. Yes, it might be all whatever, but we are quite good. Because that at the end of the day, leaders are able to rise beyond negative images of the past.
Watson Duke's reflections highlight a simple truth. Progress comes from partnership. He insists that Tobago's future depends on leaders rising above differences and working together for the island's good. Martina Renales-Salazar reporting for Tobago Updates Television News.
The Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation is reminding owners of T-registered trucks and trailers to stay compliant with inspection requirements. In a public advisory, vehicles with a maximum gross weight over 3,200 kilograms can now be inspected at VEMCOT facilities in Laventille, San Fernando, and Tobago. Public service vehicles like taxis with a tier weight under 2,270 kilograms may also use VEMCOT and approved testing stations. However, heavier taxis must still report to the licensing office. The ministry says inspections are a legal requirement under the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Act and urges all operators to ensure their vehicles are up to date. For more information, contact your nearest VEMCOT location. The United States has completed the first sale of Venezuelan oil under a new energy arrangement, generating approximately $500 million. A U.S. official confirmed. The sale is part of a wider $2 billion framework that allows Washington to oversee the marketing of Venezuelan crude, with additional transactions expected in the coming days and weeks. The development comes as the Trump administration pushes a broader strategy aimed at reviving Venezuela's struggling oil industry. President Donald Trump has reiterated plans to encourage major U.S. oil companies to invest billions of dollars in repairing and expanding the country's deteriorated oil infrastructure, which has suffered years of neglect and declining production. Officials say U.S. firms would play a central role in restoring facilities, improving output, and modernizing operations, potentially reshaping Venezuela's energy sector. The initiative signals a significant shift in U.S. engagement, placing oil investment and production at the center of its policy approach toward Caracas. The news continues in a moment, but why wait? You can follow every story, every update at any time. Join the conversation and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tobago Updates. Don't miss a beat. We'll be right back.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So, even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Staying with us. A transition is underway for the Inter-Island Sea Bridge. As of today, January 15th, the Port Authority confirms that contingency cargo arrangements are in full effect following the MV Cabo Star's lease expiry earlier this week. To prevent a supply chain gaps, the Galleon's Passage has stepped in as the primary cargo carrier. Essential goods are being strictly prioritized. Food and medical supplies take a top billing, followed by retail and stocks for small and medium enterprises. This interim shuffle bridges the gap until the MV Blue Wave Harmony arrival tentatively scheduled for January 18th. The new vessel promises a massive upgrade featuring a 125-unit capacity, nearly 40% more than its predecessor, and 31 refrigerated sockets to secure food transport. Trinidad and Tobago is poised to debate a controversial new crime-fighting law. The law reform Zones of Special Operations Bill 2026 aimed at replacing a national state of emergency with targeted security zones in high crime areas once Parliament reconvenes this Friday. For more on this, here's reporter Joel Green George with this story.
The government says the measure is designed to sustain gains achieved under extraordinary security powers without resorting to a nationwide emergency. Crime figures released this week show a significant drop in homicides from 626 in 2024 to 369 in 2025, the lowest tally in more than a decade, alongside reductions in other serious offences. The bill, set for debate on January 16th, allows the Prime Minister with parliamentary backing to designate geographical zones of special operation where enhanced police and defence force powers will be used against rampant criminality. Within those zones, security forces may enforce cordons, conduct warrantless searches upon reasonable suspicion, and impose temporary curfews of up to 72 hours to restore order. Ministers say judicial oversight, time limits up to 180 days, body-worn cameras, and community transformation councils are built into the bill to preserve human rights and proportionality.
We propose to concentrate on hotspots. There is legislative precedent. I think I can say that without going into the bill. There is legislative precedent for what we propose to do. There are checks and controls. There will be judicial oversight.
The government argues the targeted zones will continue to disrupt crime networks, gang-related violence, and illicit arms flowing in neighborhoods most affected by violent crime, without subjecting the entire nation to emergency powers. An accompanying social transformation committee, with representatives from local MPs to mental health professionals, will be tasked with coordinating interventions and assessing community needs within designated zones.
It's the law reform, Zones of Special Operations, Special Security and Community Development Measures Bill 2026. So this is a copy of the bill in hand. And this bill is a very progressive piece of legislation. It is a piece of legislation that will assist us in fighting the criminals.
Critics caution that any security legislation must balance civil liberties with public safety, especially given past judicial commentary in other Caribbean jurisdictions that have questioned the constitutional use of emergency measures for crime suppression. As lawmakers prepare to debate the bill, communities across Trinidad and Tobago are watching closely, gauging whether this new framework will deliver longer-term security or spark fresh debate about policing powers and rights. I'm Jewel Green George for Tobago Updates Television News.
As TNT moves closer to codifying paternity leave into law, the conversation is shifting from simple time off to a critical intervention for national stability. Following recent announcements by the Ministry of Labour, advocates say the move could be a turning point for the local family structure. Reporter Jewel Green George brings us the details on the story.
For nearly 2 decades, the Single Fathers Association, now the Fathers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, has lobbied for a seat at the legislative table. President Rondell Fields says the current momentum is more than a labor win. It is a social necessity. Amid rising concerns regarding youth delinquency, Fields argues that legislated bonding time is a proactive tool against the development of the criminal mind.
Well, crime being as complex as it is, we still do understand that crime is a social issue. We also do understand that the creation of strong family ties, family support, and these things is always beneficial when it comes to deterring young minds away from crime.
The proposed changes to the Maternity Protection Act seeks to modernize the workforce, where currently many private sector fathers receive no paid leave, while public sector workers are often limited to just a few days. Fields highlights that this isn't just a men's issue. He points to the high rates of postpartum depression, which affects approximately 10% to 15% of new mothers globally, as a primary reason why shared responsibility is vital.
And I mean, beyond just physical incapabilities as well and postpartum depression, just for support generally. Mommy could be tired, and at the end of the day, she wants or needs shared responsibility. And I think this actually will help when it comes to relationship between father and mother.
Addressing concerns from the business community about potential productivity loss, Fields argues that the modern blended workplace and remote work technology make the transition easier than in previous decades. He is clear on the association's mandate. They are pushing for equity, suggesting that the standard should not fall below 2 months. As the Attorney General's office begins the drafting process, the eyes of the nation, and particularly the fathers of Tobago, remain fixed on whether the final bill will truly reflect the nurturing role men are ready to play. For Tobago Updates Television News, I'm Jewel Green George.
The National Lotteries Control Board is expanding its draw schedule. Effective Sunday, February 8th, 2026, Sunday draws will be added to the lineup of online lottery games. According to an official notice, players can look forward to Sunday draws for 4 popular online games: Playway, Pick 2, Pick 4, and Cashpot. Draw times remain consistent with the current weekday schedule at 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. 1 p.m., 4 p.m., and 7 p.m. and will be broadcast from the TTT Limited television studio in Port of Spain. The NLCB says this change made under the National Lotteries Act gives the players more chances to win. 7 days a week, all other online games will continue on their regular schedule. The board reminds the players to check official channels for updates and game results. More news and the weather report when we return. Stay with us.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships. It's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. We're deepening our commitment to the region, continuing to invest in the networks, services, and digital solutions that move Caribbean businesses forward. Whether you are a mid-sized business or multinational player, we bring you resilient connectivity, personalized service, and tailored IT solutions, all powered by local teams that truly have your back. We're here to help you navigate challenges, grow, and achieve your goals with practical solutions, reliable networks, and a partnership rooted in trust and your long-term success. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Thank you for staying with us. Shockwaves continue to rock the People's National Movement Tobago Council following Monday's crushing 15-0 landslide defeat. Social media officer Kristen Salandi is the latest to exit, tendering her resignation to Chairman Larry Paul, effective immediately. Salandi's departure follows the loss of the party's final seat in the Tobago House of Assembly, a historic blow for a movement that once dominated the island's landscape. While she officially cited a desire to pursue other professional endeavors, her exit adds to the growing sense of instability within the executive. Political leader Ansel Dennis has already signaled his intention to step down, triggering a leadership vacuum. With the party securing just under 39% of the popular vote, Salandi's resignation marks the start of a radical restructuring ahead of April's internal polls. And now we take a look at the weather update from the Trinidad and Tobago Met Office for the period tonight and tomorrow. The Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Service has advised that a generally fair night is expected across Trinidad, Tobago, and the southern Windward Islands, though conditions may be interrupted at times by a few brief showery spells. Overnight temperatures are forecast to fall to around 23 degrees Celsius in Piaco and near 24 degrees Celsius in Crown Point, allowing for relatively cool and comfortable conditions. Tomorrow is expected to be sunny and breezy for most areas. However, a few partly cloudy intervals are likely during the morning and early afternoon, with occasional showers developing at times. By evening, conditions are expected to improve, becoming fair once again, though gusty winds may occur near showers. Daytime temperatures are forecast to rise to approximately 31 degrees Celsius at Piaco and 30 degrees Celsius at Crown Point, with heat index values reaching near 35 degrees Celsius and 34 degrees Celsius respectively, making it feel warmer during peak daytime hours. Marine conditions will remain moderate, with open waters experiencing waves between 2 meters and 2.5 meters, while sheltered areas will see seas near 1 meter, becoming occasionally choppy. Marine interests are advised to exercise caution, particularly near showers. Across the remainder of the Lesser Antilles, fair and breezy conditions are expected tonight and tomorrow, with the odd isolated shower possible. Sunrise tomorrow is forecast at 6:28 and sunset at 6:03. And that's it for a look at the weather report from the TNT Met Office for the period tonight and tomorrow. And that's all the time we have for tonight's Tobago Updates television news, recapping the headlines before we go. Chief Secretary vows to avoid elected dictatorship. Abby Taylor appointed Director of Antiquities. The IDA questions the need for more THA secretaries, and Trinidad and Tobago safe from U.S. visa freeze. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Lavian Cupid, wishing you a wonderful night.